All right, we're here with new monster truck driver, builder Leroy Latham and Allison. Leroy, a lot of people are not familiar with you in the monster truck world. You're kind of making your big, maiden voyage here with your new truck.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been involved in monster trucks, and how long it took to build this truck.
Yeah, I'm Leroy Latham, 46 years old. This is my daughter, Allison Latham. She's going to be 13 this year. When she was probably about 4, she said, "Dad, we should build a monster truck." I thought that was a pretty good idea. So we took a couple years, gathered up some parts, and then we took a few years to actually build the truck. We started out building as a mega mud truck. We live in Nevada, so obviously that's pretty kind of a desert. So we didn't really have much use for a mega truck, so we just decided to convert it into a full-blown monster truck. And here we are. We've been doing that for about a year now, doing the conversion to a monster truck. This is our first show with the truck complete.
I think you're the first dad who's answered, we should build a monster truck with, sure, let's do that.
Yeah, more dads should do it.
Well, you're a fabricator. Tell us a bit about your experience, because this truck is mostly custom built, and it has all your fingerprints all over it. So tell us a bit about your history of building things like this.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I couldn't afford to do this if I didn't just build 90% of it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff that you're not going to build. You're not going to build your own shocks. You're not going to make my own tires. But pretty much anything on this machine that has a weld, I put that weld there. So both Allison and I spent a lot of time in the shop. We look for good deals, pick up a bent up set of wheels and recenter them to fit, and use them in our application. Put a little work into them and just make it affordable by looking for the good deals.
And what kind of power are we going with here? As far as the motor goes, as far as the actual drivetrain components, what kind of specs do we have here as far as what this is going to be running?
Yep, so the engine is 460 based engine. One of the few actual Ford powered monster trucks out there. And then this is kind of unique because it actually has a Ford C6 3-speed transmission behind it too. A lot of guys are running turbo 400s or a power glide. This one is still Ford behind the 460. As far as the major components, you'd have the Ford 460 C6. The differentials are 21 145 center chunks with petty bone outers. All of it is a little bit unique. A lot of trucks run a fabricated housing. They'll buy a fabricated housing and put all the parts together. This one here started out as a pair of 21 145 housings out of a semi truck that I cut apart and trussed up and put the flanges on it so I could bolt the petty bone outers. And then, of course, I reached out to SCS and had them build custom inner axle shafts so I could hook all these parts together and make them turn.
And who are some of the people you consulted with? Because it's a big team effort. This whole industry, everyone for the most part is willing to lend a hand, willing to lend some advice. Who are some guys you were talking to? Like, hey, give me some pointers. I need some help with this. What should I do with that? Who are some of the guys?
So I've reached out probably a lot of a few petty bone guys I knew had petty bones. You got Devin Jones with Barbarian. He shared some measurements with me with what he runs in his truck. Jason Court out of Canada, he was helpful, and then Colton Kaiser actually just recently has helped me with a few questions that I had for him. So there were a handful of people that I could reach out to and get some clarity on a couple foggy areas.
And as far as the name goes, where did Midnight Panic come from?
So when Allison said that we should build a monster truck, her thought was we should have 2 monster trucks. And one of them was going to be Night Thunder and the other one was going to be Midnight Panic. Now, normally I'm not huge on naming my vehicles. It's just really not ever been my thing. But when she came up with that name, I thought it just stuck. We have to use that for the truck.
And I know Bryce Seiver's back here. He's the wild kid. I'm sure you're going to try to ask him, hey, could you build a mini monster truck so I can go out there and race him? Is that right? Oh, you want the big thing, right? You want the, okay, I see. But hey, best of luck to you out here. Is there anything on here you're kind of unsure about as far as like, hey, I'm wondering how it's going to hold up, how it's going to perform, or are you kind of feeling like pretty confident, like if I hit the jumps this way, I know I can get an idea of how it's going to react and I don't have to worry too much?
Probably my biggest concern tonight especially is the shocks. So the shocks are pretty much right out of the box how they showed up. I don't even know what valving is in them. I don't know how they're set up. I don't know how the truck is going to react or land at a jump. So like I said, we'll probably be a little bit conservative, especially this first show, just to go feel it out. There's no point in trying to hurt ourselves or damage the trucks with unknown. Guy can go out there and if it feels good, then we'll start leaning on it pretty hard. If it's soft, we'll just have to be a little bit conservative until we can get back to the shop and tear into the shocks and valve them up with them.
So, for anybody watching, grain of salt with this performance is someone who's making their big splash. It's going to be some growing pains. Everybody has growing pains with a new build.
Absolutely.
You're not entirely sure. It's mostly custom. You know, lots of other things that are derivative, but you're trying to feel it out. And we'll see how the fans think when we get to the end of the show tonight.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Hopefully to see great things in the future from you.
Me too. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Shane Plato, driver of Skull Krusher. We've seen you go from a little kid to a bigger kid here on the monster truck circuit. I gotta ask you first thing though, the last time we saw you was in Pleasanton, California, in that final race that went around Facebook, where you took on Dylan Bartz and Rockwell Red. He spun it on the nose, broke the wheel off, and you got to see it firsthand. What was your reaction watching him tumble and crash across the finish line?
First of all, little recap on that show. It was an amazing action-packed show, just like all the shows around the West Coast. We like to go out, we like to burn it down and have fun. And as you guys saw from that clip, sometimes when you burn it down, things break. And like we all do, sometimes you just don't lift, and when it comes down to it, and you're in a tight track like that, things just come out of nowhere. And I know everyone saw that big jump, and you think, oh, how did they not miss it? Well, when you're flying and you're pushing that 12,000-pound truck as fast as it'll go, and you hit a jump, sometimes you'll get a little messed up, and it can angle you wrong. And when you're really pushing it to win that final race, anything can happen. And unfortunately, he just happened to clip that jump, and it just snapped right then and there. It was a very unfortunate event. Dylan's a really solid dude, and I'm sorry for all the negative backlash that he got from that. I hope nothing bad came from it, but I understand things happen. It was a fun show. We all had fun at the end of the day, helping each other out. Everyone's a great big family around the monster truck scene, and that's about it I can say. You know, it was a lot of fun, I'll tell you that.
I'll tell you this too, if you're doing something stupid, do it on video. That's why I'm here.
That's right. We're gonna go out here. We're in Santa Rosa, California at the WGAS Santa Rosa Fair Nationals, and we're ready to have fun. We got a lot of good trucks out here. We got debut Midnight Panic, first show on the truck, 10 minutes on the engine total. We're gonna go see what this thing can do, full on metal body. It's gonna be a sweet truck. And that's not the only thing. We got the Skull Crusher team, we got Skull Crusher, Bull's Not Proud, Scattered, Bull's Not Proud, we got Anubis, we got Aftershock, we got Temporarily Insane. Man, let me tell you, it's gonna be a fun one. It's gonna be a show for the books, and I wouldn't want to miss it for the world.
I think that's all needs to be said, Shane. Go out there and burn it down.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. Bull's Not Proud, Shane Plato, out.
All right, we're here talking to Jerrod Compton for the first time on this channel. Saw you driving Roseville last year. You're here with your truck, Anubis. First time seeing it on here. Tell us a little bit about it. This thing's gonna be familiar to a lot of longtime fans.
Yeah, it's funny you say the Roseville show because, I mean, that was a show for Bill, and this just happens to be Bill Rockstar.
Yeah.
So that's how it came about, and then I was on that team for a little while, so I got used to working on the truck. So when it came time to start my own thing or do something like that, this is just the chassis that I was familiar with, so that's why I went ahead and did it.
And where did the name Anubis come from? Because it's got an Egyptian connotation to it. Is that something you're kind of fascinated with? Where the iconicism come from?
Yeah, I've always been fascinated with Egyptian history and stuff like that, and we don't really know a whole lot about it. And I was trying to figure out a truck that hadn't been trademarked, no copyrights, nobody owned it, something you could just like start off on your own thing and create by yourself. And from what I saw, there was never really an Egyptian themed truck. So I kind of went in that direction with it. And it's a funny side mark on that is that I was talking to Dallas Rogers, and he was talking to another graphics art designer and a guy who actually does art for monster trucks regularly, and he had come up with a concept a few years ago. So he's been wanting to talk to me about using that imaging and stuff like that. I just haven't gone down the route yet.
So you go in the full 3D head, or what's going on here?
I don't know. I've kind of been in love with the wolf head the whole time since it came out as a Molly. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking about maybe doing a bluish version of that with some black highlights with just regular bedsides as the next Anubis truck on the newer chassis. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. We'll see. I wanted to do just like a regular image on the side because I mean, a lot of people monster trucks that are a truck, so you have that aspect of it too.
Yeah, I mean, we got plenty of 3D trucks out here. I think, we got to also know, like, hey, some people like trucks because they're trucks. They're kind of cool because it's a truck. You drive it here, you might as well like it. You might want to see it like, hey, it looks like my Colorado.
Well, some of it is being connected with your fans too. Like, you're not going to go home and buy a 2012 Wolf and drive it around.
Yeah.
It's not a thing.
Unless you're in Alaska.
They'll go out and buy a 79 Ford and drive it around.
Yeah.
Or, a 2007 Colorado. Well, maybe not, but Some people like them.
If they're still laying around, they can get one.
Yeah.
And how's the truck been running this year? Because, I mean, you've been running like pretty much a full schedule for the most part since the beginning of this year. I know you have Boss Gator under your wing. You've been taking care of that for the past few months. How have things been going overall leading up to this show?
Well, the first part of the year we struggled. I had a lot of engine issues, and I've been blowing head gaskets and chasing a lean issue, which I finally found out what it was. I had some clogged fuel filters and a couple nozzles, so the engine was leaning out and just eating holes in my cylinder heads. So I've been working on that, getting Anubis. That's been my focus. But as of I think 3 or 4 weeks ago, Boss Gator was finally turned over to me officially. So I've been going through all the shocks, all the Heim joints, all the bolts on it. We got new diffs in it, all new brakes in it. So it's pretty much just waiting for a new engine drivetrain setup. And I got an email from my engine builder Friday of last week that they're being shipped out right now. So I have 3 new engines coming for Boss Gator and USA 1, and then 1 spare.
Yeah, because you also have the black USA 1 you've been looking after a little bit too. I know you're driving that a little bit recently. It's like it's kind of the spare truck, it feels like, for whatever Stanley's going around.
Yep.
So what kind of motors are we talking about here? Like, you know, the brand, horsepower, what are we going with for?
So they're going to be big block Chevrolets. We're looking at dart blocked 540s. We're just going to get 3 matching engines, so 2 of the trucks will have 100% matching drivetrains and everything like that. So it's a little bit easier when we're on the road to get parts. So you don't have so many mixed and matched, items that don't, like no rocker arms match, no push rods match, cylinder heads don't match, components like internal components, bearings, stuff like that. I want everything to be able to match so we can maintain it easier and make parts more readily available for when we need those parts to fix it in the future.
Hopefully we won't need too many parts after tonight.
Well, I don't know, man. Shane's here. Shane likes to party. Anubis has been getting tuned in pretty good, and I've had some decent runs in it in the last few shows. So I think tonight's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching some of it. I saw you switch those collectors from the Zoomies. Got some nice, more it seems to have the truck being a little more consistent, muscle-wise, as far as, consistently running good. I mean, I know you can do the stoppies. You've been messing with those a lot. I know you tipped over one time in Eugene, but with a shorter truck, I'm sure it's going to be a lot easier making that work for you.
Yeah, I was chasing the fuel filter issues. That's why I choked out and died, and it rolled me over at that point. And then Costa Mesa, I changed gearing in it, and I did a couple other little adjustments, and the truck seemed to really like it.
So we're going to try and hit any stoppies tonight, or you're just going to try and do what you can?
Absolutely. The problem I'm having with my stoppies is I've been able to get the stoppie up and walk, but my transmission, it won't go into reverse quick enough. I'm working with ATD with a billet valve body for like a quicker apply in reverse. So then I'll be able to do that here soon.
All right, well, the cameras are here, so we'll see how good you do tonight.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right, man. Great to have you on here. All right, future monster truck superstar here in the Mini Monster Juvenile Destruction is Bryce Seiver. Bryce, this year's the first time I've seen you behind the wheel. You're making a name for yourself going out here, running with the big trucks. How's the year been so far? I see you got a lot of body damage on this thing, and we know where some of it came from.
Yeah, it's been great for this year. I've loved every moment of it. It's been so fun.
I saw you race the ride truck earlier this year. Was Ron a little scared running against you, or were you just like, you know what? I don't care. I'm just going to race my own race. Because I know you beat him twice.
So, yeah, he was kind of scared because that corner, because if I went slow on that corner, he could have ran me over, so he got scared of it, but I beat him.
You weren't afraid going out there. One day you'll be in a truck his size, I'm sure. So what are you planning on doing out here? We got a big course out here, got some cars. I know you're not afraid going over the cars. What are your plans out here tonight?
Just to get a feel of the track and just have fun.
Make it to the end of the show and say hi to all your fans.
Yep.
All right, we're looking forward to big things here, man. I know you're just a little. How old are you, by the way?
10.
You're 10 years old. So is there any kids here? You gotta be careful what you ask your parents, because it might come true. A 10-year-old's got a mini monster truck, and he's living his dream so far. So maybe in 10 years we'll come back and look at this interview and see where you're at.
Yep.
We'll see what's going on. It'll be adult destruction then. It'll be adult destruction. Juvenile destruction. We gotta retire that at some point. Unless you want to have another kid representing you.
Maybe.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Yep.
All right, man. Good luck out there.
Thank you.
Maybe everybody.
gentlemen, this entire show tonight is dedicated to the founder of WGAS Motorsports, Mr. John Borba. John was the one that brought monster trucks and tractor pulling over to the West Coast. He ran WGAS for many, many years. A couple of years ago, he decided to pass that baton on, but always stayed very involved in the monster truck world. John lost his battle with cancer in January of this year, so we just wanted to dedicate this entire event to John and his memory and making all of these great. If you've been involved in monster trucks, you know the name, you know the family, you know the legacy that he brought to us. So this show tonight, 100% dedicated to Mr. John Borba. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you again, I need you guys to dig deep. Are you guys ready to see a monster truck show? WGAS Motorsports is ready to go as we bring the monsters to ya. This one is debuting here for you tonight, the 1979 Ford. Out of Golconda, Nevada. This truck powered by a 460 cubic inch engine with 1,200 horsepower. Make some noise for Leroy Latham and Midnight Panic. The next one I want to introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, the 1972 Chevrolet. This is one of the hometown trucks out of Hillsburg, California. This truck powered by a 540 cubic inch engine with 1,400 horsepower. Make some noise for Daniel, Calderon, and Scatter. The next one I want to introduce to you, the 2020 Ford Ranger. Out of Roanoke Park, California. This truck powered by a 557 cubic inch Ford with 1,500 horsepower. Make some noise for Jerrod Compton and Anubis. The next one I want to introduce to you, the the 2010 Ford F-350 out of Ware, New Hampshire. This truck powered by a 585 cubic inch engine with 1,800 horsepower. Make some noise for Donny, Hebert, and Temporarily Insane. The next one I want to introduce to you, if you've been coming to this event, you have watched this driver grow up right in front of you. The 2015 Chevrolet out of Hillsburg, California. This truck sponsored by Bull Snot, powered by a 540 cubic inch engine with 1,600 horsepower. Make some noise for 17-year-old Shane Plato and Krusher. Well, now we're going to move down to my mini monster. Maybe small on size, but it is big on excitement. Out of Prince Little, Oregon. Make some noise for Bryce Seiver and Juvenile Destruction. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll get to introduce all of my Tuff trucks to you one at a time as they come out, but they're all out on the track. Let me hear you make some noise for all the stars in your Tuff trucks. 5, 4. Oh! Oh, there's a, sir, he belongs to part of your truck. It's okay. Here we go. Oh! gonna do it. He thinks he's a monster truck. He was just gonna drive over it. He got a little wild up there. Other than that wobbly, he had a great run going here. And the time, a 1:08 getting ready to go here. Roger Caldwell, last one in our first round. Last one in our first round. Thumbs up, ready to go. Good run going. Oh no! Oh no! That could have got a little stuff right here. All right, gotta make the hair fit. Another one that wants to play with the car. Uh-oh. He's backing it up. Once again, these guys run 5 times, so they'll get 2 runs. 2 runs. The fastest to 5 time is your winner. So they gotta have 2 consistent runs. A 1:13.56. Ready to go. The gas cap is up and running. He's keeping it going. Come on, let's make some noise. The louder you get, the louder they get. Good second round going right here. Yeah, what a run. A 1:05. A 1:05.19. So ladies, you know what time it is. You gotta show some love. Oh, here we go, here we go. Oh, you give a big round of applause. That is the furthest she's been on the track this night. we're good to go. Now this truck right here gets rid of all the mosquitoes. Here we go, here we go. Time to be a 54.72 put down by this truck. Can he get a better time the second round?
She's a young girl. Looking mama, you're dead wrong. What happened to
Get way out there, put it in the air. Let's get time to be at 52.76. because I'm up here, you're down there. So why don't you tell what it feels like to all these fans to perform in your hometown?
First of all, I want to say thank you to each and every single one of you for coming out here tonight, spending money so you can come here and enjoy a monster truck show. I don't know if you guys heard this before, but the louder you get, the bigger we go. And you guys saw by how I was driving, you guys were loud, you guys were rowdy, and that's something we all love and love. Thank you guys. You guys make this all worth it. We love you guys every year for the Slow Russian team. Thank you for coming. Hope to see you tomorrow.
Sounds good.
All right, let's jam.
See you back there in a little bit. All right, I mean, you're ready.
Recording.